Hello friend, how are you doing? I'm so excited to have you again on today's episode here on the Princess Amarachi show. It's been long I told you my name. Well, if you're watching for the first time, my name is Princess Amarachi and this is the Princess Amarachi show. All right, quickly we have something we want to talk about as always. And today we discussed on the last episode if being angry is bad. If you've not watched that episode, you can go through and check on it. And today we want to ask, how can we channel our anger rightly? How do we channel our anger rightly? Like I said, rightly. So what prompted this discussion is that the topic of anger seems like it can't be managed. It can't be handled. It's something that should be thrown into the bush. Don't even say you're angry. Don't even believe you're angry. And for me, that's living a fake life, because if you're angry, you're angry for real. So, but how do we walk around this emotion that we have within ourselves so that we can live better in our everyday growth and in our everyday interaction with people? How do you think we can do that? Well, you don't need to crack your brain. By the time I'm done, I'll get your comments soon. So, as I always say, that every emotion is an energy that needs to be channeled properly. Same thing with anger. Anger is an energy that needs a right channel for it to achieve its desired results. Desired like a good result and not to be catastrophic. If we don't manage our anger very well, it's going to be catastrophic, it's going to be disastrous. Now, if we understand, if we believe that our anger or being angry is an energy that needs a channel, then we'll have to pay attention to how we're going to channel this energy. Now, some of the actions that we've taken are our observations of people. Tell me, how did you learn how to react when you're upset? I do see movies from the Western world, and I always wondered, why did these guys scatter the whole house when they are upset? Why do they break glasses? Why do they do this? Why do they do that? And why is it that in our own place, when someone is upset, it's either he's hitting someone, taking a walk, going out for a drink, or maybe something like that? And I observed that how we respond or react to anger in angry situations is based on our observation of people and culture where we find ourselves. But that's not really supposed to be the only basis for how we should channel our emotions or channel our anger. If you base it on our culture or observations, that means if you grew in a family where maybe your parents spank at each other or beat each other when they are angry, then you're going to think it's all about violence. Or where you grew in a place where they scatter and destroy things because they are upset, then you're going to have rage and violence when you're upset as well. But there should be a better way, right? So our anger shouldn't be based only by what our culture says or what people we've grown to live with do. I know it does affect us most times, but since we've grown and we want to keep growing, we need to find a better way to handle this. Or don't you think so? Okay, so the first thing I think we need to do is to recondition our mind to know that we can own this anger, that it is part of our emotions, understanding that it is a process. So the first thing is recondition your mind to understand that you can own it. Recondition your mind to also understand that it is a process. If you understand that I can own this, that you can't say, I just can't help what I do when I'm upset. That's not right. You can really help what you do when you're upset. You can help what you do when you're angry. You can help because you're the one who's going to bear the consequence in the long run. So recondition your mind to understand that I can own it, and recondition your mind to understand that it is a process. It's very important for us to understand that it's a process, I feel, because we actually lose patience in our growth process in ourselves when we are trying to change a habit or change a pattern. And we forget that it took us a long time to develop that pattern that we want to change. So be patient with yourself. That's the first thing, because sometimes you're going to mess up. Yes, when you get into the traffic and that man is getting you upset and you step down that day and you had a backlash with him, it's okay, it's fine. The next time you're going to do it better. So you don't say, you see what I'm saying? I just can't help myself. Oh no, you just tried it once, you're going to try it again and try it again until you get better. So recondition your mind to understand that anger is something you can own and that it is a process. Statistics says that most people are angry mostly when they are on the road, and I think Lagosians can attest to that. Yes, and the second place that people are mostly angry is at work. So your boss, your colleague will most likely get you upset. And the third place that people get angry most times is at home. So that is the ranking. So you understand that there are a lot of angry people on the road, so you need to really clear and give people that space. There are a lot of angry people at work because work tension is kind of high, and there are a lot of angry people at home. So with that understanding, you see why this topic is very necessary and why it's necessary for us to recondition our mind to know that this is something that I need to work on so I don't just be like everyone else. But it's a process. The second point to channeling your energy is being intentional about how you react to people. A friend sent me a question, yes, and I think this is going to answer it. And she asked me, what do you do when someone is intentionally getting you upset or trying to upset you? And I feel like, well, you've already answered that question. If someone is intentionally trying to get you upset, you intentionally decide not to get upset. Not that easy though, right? But it's something we need to be intentional about. Well, if things are getting us easily irritated, if we are getting upset at everything, we have the power to decide to be indifferent or not pay attention to it. Trust me, it's something we can do. What do you make of people, your roommates, that you decide not to get you upset, and certain things she does, you just take excuses for her and you're like, okay, that's the way she does. That's the way she does, and I don't want to get upset today. Or remember that day you woke up and you said, you see, today nobody can kill my mood, nobody can kill my vibe. You see, that day you decided not to be upset, and if you check very well, you really worked at it and it worked. So your intentionality on how you react to people and how people respond to you is dependent on you. If you're intentional about it, even when you pay attention, even when things like that come up, you will know what to do and you will know how you react. But understand as well that it's also a process. It might not work on the first day, it might not work on the second day, but if you are consistent with this process, you definitely see a change. Now, in other cases, it's good that you speak up and don't hold it in. I feel this is very important because most times when we express our anger, it is because it has been piled up for a long time. And then the day we decide to speak up, people are wondering, why is this person this fierce, this violent? Why am I seeing this rage coming up? But if you had addressed this issue when it was just small, if you attacked it when it was just little, it might not have digressed to this point. I always tell people, always tell me when I get you upset. Do you know why? Because I wouldn't want to do it again. But if you don't tell me, I might be unintentionally hurting you. And the day you blow up, I'll tell you that you are overreacting because I don't know where that is coming from. So it's always good to speak up when you're upset. Don't hold it in. If you keep tolerating, the more you keep tolerating without communicating your feelings, you're bound to overreact one day. And that day, trust me, the action is going to be massive. It's going to be disastrous. So it's always good to speak up when you're hurt so that people will understand how you feel and know your principles and keep to it. That way, we'll live better. Isn't that right? Yes, that's because if we fight today, or if I communicate my feelings to you today and it doesn't go down well with you, that doesn't mean that we can't be friends tomorrow. What are friends for if not to be sincere and open with each other? So communicating your feelings doesn't make you a bad friend or doesn't mean you should be afraid of losing people around you. In fact, if people walk away when you express your feelings, that means they really don't appreciate it. You should be thankful to God for bringing the right people your way. Do you get it? So always speak up and express your emotions. And the last but not the least is that you need to learn to take excuses for people. You know the statistics that I said that a lot of people we have a lot of angry people on the road, angry people at work, and angry people at home. You really don't know what people are going through. Yeah, you really don't know. And so two wrongs don't make it right. One person really has to be that one that is going to take in at that moment. So if you decide that you're not going to be angry with everything that happens in the world, you're going to learn to take excuses for people. You're going to learn to give people a benefit of doubt until you have a decent conversation with them. If you've not had a conversation with someone to understand where they're coming from, sometimes your anger might be baseless. So to channel your anger properly, communicate effectively, take excuses for people, be intentional about owning your emotions, and understand that it is a process. Trust me, if we follow these processes consistently, with simplicity, and with the help of the Holy Spirit, we will be living a beautiful life. Like, people will be amazed at how happy and how mature we are in handling this particular feeling of anger. Now, that's my own take. Tell me about yours. How have you been handling situations that are terribly infuriating, that get you upset? How have you been doing that? And have you had a situation where you regret your actions, maybe because of what you did when you were angry? I'd like to know your responses to this video, to my views, and to your own personal experiences right in the comments. But this is it. This is where I draw the curtain today. Thank you so much for being part of today's discussion. I'll be waiting for you right in the comments, but until then, you can share this video to your friend. Tell your friend that says, I can't help it, I'm always an angry person. No, share it with her. Him or her, she needs it. Subscribe if you've not, and you can drop your comments. I'll be waiting for you right in the comment section. So keep living every day from within to without. See you in the next episode, but until then, take care.